Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to paint simple yet effective gemstones on your Warhammer miniatures using only Citadel paints. Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint red gemstones like the ones on this High Elf Mage, but this technique can be used for any colour, just substitute the respective dark tone, mid-tone and highlight. Right, let's take a look at what paints and tools we'll need. Okay, so for this method we'll need to use Abaddon Black, Khorne Red, Mephiston Red, Wild Rider Red, and Corax White. This is a brush friendly tutorial and can be done using a Citadel small layer brush or smaller. I personally will be using a Winsor & Newton Series 7 size 00 for the additional brush control it offers. Okay, now before we jump into the painting, I want to show you a short illustration of the theory behind today's tutorial. On the screen in front of you is the illustrated version of each of today's steps. I wanted to show you this prior to painting, as some gemstones can be quite small and fiddly, and I didn't want any of the detail to get lost. Essentially, gemstones in this context are translucent, and to achieve this painted glass effect, we need to trick the eye into believing that light has entered the gem from the top right, has diffused and scattered through the object, illuminating the bottom left. We'll start by adding our dark tone, covering around just over half of the gem in this almost yin and yang type way, before adding the mid-tone and highlight in a similar fashion. We'll follow this up with a final spot highlight to show the reflection of the light source. Sounds simple, right? It is. And with that, it's time to start the painting. Okay, step 1. Paint a High Elf Mage. I'm just kidding. Go ahead and prime your gems using Abaddon Black. In this instance, I've already painted the High Elf Mage, but I've just left the gems black for this demonstration. Okay guys, so as we discussed in the theory section, for step 2 we're going to apply a dark tone to roughly half the surface area of the gem in a yin and yang style, with Khorne Red on the bottom and leaving Abaddon Black on the top. As the steps advance and the surface area reduces, it can get a little bit more technical, but for now this step is really straightforward. For the perfectionists amongst you, you may wish to wet blend with the Abaddon Black to create an even smoother transition, but when the gems are this small, applying it through normal layering will work great. Step 3 is very similar to the previous step. We're going to take Mephiston Red to apply our mid-tone to a reduced surface area, moving increasingly towards a corner of the gem that you have chosen for the light to be scattered towards. As mentioned before, it may now start to become a little bit tricky depending on the gem size, but that's okay, just be patient and take your time. I promise you the results will be worth it. Okay, once you're finished, your gems should now start to look a little something like this. Step 4 next, adding the final highlight using Wild Rider Red. At this stage, depending on the gem size, you may want to use just a dot highlight at the outermost edge. Otherwise, it's a straightforward brushstroke to give that illuminated effect. Once you're done, it should look something like this. Alright, our fifth and final step now, using Corax White, add your light source reflections in the upper Abaddon Black half of the gem. Some people like to use a single reflection, I prefer to do 2 dots together. I personally think it sells the effect a little bit better, but I'll leave it up to you to decide what you think looks best. Keep your brush tip sharp and add only a small amount of paint to the tip. Move fast though, as due to it being such a small amount of paint it could drown the bristles if you take too long. Just dot away and you're good to go. And there you have it guys, great looking glass effect gemstones for your Warhammer minis. This effect works really well on all sizes of gems and even lenses on weapons too. Hopefully you were able to follow along at home and produce a similar result. Please be sure to let me know in the comments and like the video if you found this tutorial useful. Equally, dislike the video if you didn't, but make sure to subscribe either way, as there might be another tutorial from me that can help you with your painting. You can follow my hobby and other painting projects over on Instagram at richm_paints. Thanks for watching, see you next time.